Welcome back, Justin Tucker here. In this video tutorial, we are going to complete out building our project submission content type. In earlier videos, we are basically still building content types and creating fields that go to them. We've done that for these other three, and now we're going to go into the project submission. So under structure, content types, project submission, we're going to click manage fields, and this gives us the interface to add more fields to this content type. So this content type on our fictitious site here basically deals with the idea that we're allowing customers or clients to be able to submit to the website for everyone to see what their project is and let people know maybe what their max budget is and what their time frame is, so developers and other development companies can give meaningful responses and bids back for that. So I've identified a few fields: time frame, desired platform, project description, which we already have, and then budget. So let's get to it. So time frame is going to be very similar to what we did on the bid submission, and that is going to be a date field. Again, for the purposes of this, we only need to collect the day. Clearly, there's other instances where you may need to collect down to the second or down to the minute. For example, I was helping a guy with a project with fishing trails or bass trails, meaning they were tournaments for fishing, and it turns out the start time for the ramp time, or the time when boats can leave, corresponds with the time that the sunrise happens. And so clearly that can be different every day down to the minute. So in their case, they needed the hour and the minute collected. In our case, we just need these three collected. Collect an end date in this example. I'm going to leave this optional. Usually, I think if we're if a customer wants to express, hey, I've got this window for the project to be completed, we can, but we'll give them the option to put the end date, but we're not going to make it required. Okay. And then we'll just give a little help text. Please enter the time frame have available for this project. Clearly, the more helpful you can be here, the better it is for everyone. Everything else looks good. We'll save those settings, and there we go. There's our time frame date field. We also need budget. Now, whether we choose to show this, whether maybe this is, privileged information, we can address all that later, but budget's probably a piece of information we do want to collect from the user who's submitting the project. This is going to be an integer. And we are going to say enter your maximum budget available. The prefix will be the $sign, and we'll actually make use of the suffix here. I'm going to put the word max behind it so it's understood when we see this number and it's submitted on a project submission form. That means it's submitted by a customer or client, so this is their declaration. This is the max amount I'm willing to pay for this project. One thing you'll learn is that you want to put a space after that, otherwise it wants to hug itself right up to the end zero or end number. And that looks good, and we'll hit save. And we've got another field we'll make use of. I'm going to call it desired platform. So the idea here in our little test site is that we're going to give the user the option to select, and with my project I would like it to be built in Joomla or in Drupal or in WordPress. Clearly that might not be a real good example of a live use case. You may not want to restrict your users to those options, or if you do, you may want to give many, many more options, since your site presumably, or this site presumably, could be open to many different types of developers. But we're going to go ahead and throw it in here to show the example. This is a term reference, and we've gone over that in other videos. This is basically going to tie into taxonomy terms that we created already. This is why I feel that creating your categories and taxonomy terms needs to be done as an early stage. Otherwise, naturally, it's not available to you right now to make use of. I'll allow the user to give multiple selections. Maybe they want to say, hey, I'm okay if it's in Joomla or Drupal. So eventually we'll want checkboxes. So I'll choose this one here. Save this. The vocabulary is actually the platform vocabulary, which has the terms in it, WordPress, Joomla, and Drupal. And we'll say enter the platforms you would like your project built in. And obviously, a lot of times, if a customer doesn't know what they want, they may not even be smart enough to understand uh, what to click here. Okay, but again, this is just for the example of this tutorial series. And key here, we're going to say unlimited number of values, and so that's going to turn those radio buttons into checkboxes and allow multiple selections. And voila, there we have it. So I'm going to move these around. And I'm going to go to Manage Display. And kind of move them around. Time frame I'll put in line. Desired platform I'll put in line. I'll keep that above. Budget I'll put in line. And then we'll save. And that completes building out our project submission. So at this point we should have all of our content types under structure, content types completed. Okay, and I know this might feel like some mundane stuff, but it's critically important. And anything you do here in terms of proper setup, proper documentation, is directly going to make your life easier in the future for yourself and your clients. So, pay close attention. Make sure you get all the fields you need in there. Of course, you can always go back, but that's what we're trying to avoid is the inefficiency of that ping pong effect. Also, things like the dates. If you're collecting hour and then later you don't need to, that can be kind of tricky to resolve. Okay, so again, prior planning prevents bad performance, right? So anyway, I'll wrap up the video with that. On the next video, we're actually going to populate content into our website, dummy content, fake content, Latin filler text, so that we actually have some substance to fill the site out with, and then we can actually start to make other useful or make use of other tools on the website like views and panels and blocks and things like that. So as always, if you enjoy these videos, please subscribe. Comments are always welcome, and I am happy to answer questions. So thanks for watching. See you on the next